Welcome to the All Rise podcast, Sunday Scaries. I'm your host, Christine, a civil litigator and personal mentor. Every Sunday, we'll tackle those dreaded Sunday Scaries together to demystify the practice of law and provide you with actionable tips and guidance to face your week ahead. So grab a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and join me while we turn those Sunday Scaries into stepping stones towards your success. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the All Rise podcast, Sunday Scaries, where we tackle the anxieties and uncertainties of the legal practice head on. I'm your host, Christine Barker, a civil litigator for over 20 years, and your personal mentor. Whether you're a new attorney navigating the complexities of your early career or an experienced lawyer looking for just some fresh insight, this podcast is for you. So, I wanted to talk a little bit today about the transition from law school to law firm. This can be really overwhelming. We've all heard the old sayings about law school, like the first year they scare you to death, the second year they work you to death, and the third year they bore you to death. Well, the concept of All Rise Mentors, we wanted to kind of flip that whole thing on its head. Our goal is to make the transition as smoothly as possible and empowering to new attorneys. The number one key for transitioning from law school to law firm really is mentorship. Whether you are a fresh grad or a few years into your practice, having a mentor can make a world of difference to your career, the advancement, and your enjoyment of the legal field. I wanted to kind of go through really quickly the top 5 reasons I think that you need a mentor. So number 1, you get personalized guidance and support. A mentor can provide you with tailored advice and feedback based upon their own experience and what you're actually going through at the time. They try and help you navigate the complexities of your new role, whether it be as a law clerk, as a new associate, or transitioning from one firm to another. They can offer insights that are very specific to the legal field and the legal career path. This personalized guidance is invaluable. My first mentors were ones I still stay in contact with today. And each one offered something a little bit different, but definitely something that I didn't even know that I needed. Number 2, it helps you build confidence and it overcomes impostor syndrome. Many new attorneys right out of law school and many seasoned attorneys still in the practice struggle with impostor syndrome. I remember my friends and I, when we first got out of law school, just looking at each other, just going, I hope nobody asks me to do whatever. Please don't ask me to take a deposition because now they're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm just faking it. And that's an awful feeling, to feel like you don't know what you're doing. You feel like you're faking it, and you feel like any minute now, someone's going to figure you out and the whole house of cards is going to come tumbling down. But having a mentor, having that kind of guidance really helps to combat that, because you realize you're not alone. You're not the only one who thinks that. You're not the only one looking at your student loan debt going, why in the world did I go into so much debt to do something I don't even know how to do? So, but a mentor can really help you kind of reel back those anxiety-ridden thoughts and that imposter syndrome and let you know that the feeling's it's not unique to you. Everybody feels this way at some point in their career, in their life. And to kind of point out to you, you are qualified to do this job. You did go to undergrad. You did go to law school. You did study for the bar. You did pass the bar. You are well qualified to be a lawyer. And let me tell you, I have run into plenty of attorneys who are practicing law with complete and utter abandoned confidence who really shouldn't be. But my point being is that if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, don't feel alone. And a mentor can really help you work through those feelings and get you to the other side. They can provide you with encouragement and reassurance that you need to believe in yourself and to believe in your abilities. Third, networking and connections. Mentors are already in the field. They've been there. They've done that. They know people. They can help introduce you to different people in the legal field. They can introduce you to different resources, which groups that they belong to, which marketing techniques that they utilize. And then if you're on the job search, Lawyers know other lawyers. They know who's looking for jobs. They know who's looking for employees. I spend a lot of my time managing my firm's local office. And the number one thing that I'm asked to do is recruit. And I'm constantly reviewing resumes, reaching out on Indeed, on job posting websites, looking for good candidates. But you know the candidates that stick, the ones that actually succeed within our firm, the ones that continue to stick with the firm, that continue to work with us, that we invest time with our firm, referrals. Number one recruiting tool is referrals. People know people. And you know, if you get to know a mentor, they get to know you. They get to know who you are, how you work, how you interact with people. And then they can look to see people that they know. Would this be a good fit? I mean, it's like matchmaking. So we do a lot of that in our recruiting. So networking and connections. And these connections open new doors. They open new opportunities. Whether it's finding a job, securing clients. I still to this day get referrals from the law firm that I worked at right out of law school. I wound up moving on from that law firm after about 3 years of practicing with them and was looking for something different. I made sure that I did not burn a bridge there. I am still great friends with many of the attorneys and many of the staff that is still there. And to this day, I get referral work from that firm. And so those connections just really do open doors, open opportunities. Let me start again. Networking is crucial to your legal career. You are going to have to network in order to get clients. You're going to have to network in order to get jobs. You're going to have to network in order to get your name out there for that people to know that, hey, this is what I do. I'm a construction litigator. How do I do this? How do I get my name out there? I speak on panels. I write for periodicals and newsletters. I do these kinds of podcasts. I get my name out there so that people know this is who I am and this is what I do. How did I know to do this? My mentor. My mentor told me, Christine, you need to start speaking on panels. Christine, you need to write articles. And then starting this podcast. So all of those things are things that it's, as you're learning to practice law, it's hard sometimes to think beyond that as to as opposed to learning, how do I write interrogatories? How do I take a deposition? How do I take, how do I work with an expert? You're still learning those fundamentals. So it's really hard to kind of see the end game, to see, 4 or 5 plays ahead. And a mentor can help you do that. Number 4, professional development and skill building. Mentors can help you identify areas of improvement and provide strategies to help you develop those skills. Whether it's enhancing your legal writing, improving your negotiation techniques, or mastering time management, a mentor can offer you practical tips and resources to help you grow professionally. And they're likely going to be tips and things that you didn't know you needed to improve upon. What's the old saying? You don't know what you don't know. And that is 100% true. I didn't know if I was taking a poor deposition because no one taught me how to do it. Until I sought out a mentor, until I handed over the cringe-worthy deposition transcripts that I was like, God, I hope nobody ever reads these. Because I realized when I was taking a deposition, I started off every single question with, okay, yeah. I didn't even know I was doing it until I read my actual transcript. When I sat down and talked with a mentor about it, they gave me some tips and some tricks how to prevent myself from doing it. It was a stall tactic. It was, I was searching for a thought and I felt like I had to say something, where this mentor taught me how to pause and not say anything. It also turned out that when I paused and I was thinking of the next question, how I was going to formulate it, and organizing my thoughts, the witness kept talking, and they likely kept talking and saying things they would not have ordinarily said had I did my typical, okay, yeah. So things like that, skill set building is absolutely key, and it's going to be things you didn't know that you needed to build. Number 5, career advancement and long-term success. So like I just said, you're focused as a new attorney, you're focused on learning the fundamentals. Your mentor is looking at the big picture for you, and they're helping you set and achieve your career goals. I love to start out every year with my team where we sit down and we look at what last year's successes we had, what could be improved upon from last year, and then what our new goals are for the coming year. So for example, as a brand new attorney, I might ask my first year associates to set a goal, something like take a deposition. In order to take that deposition by the end of the year and do it well, there are a lot of fundamental things that they need to learn in the meantime. Things like drafting written discovery, reviewing written discovery, meeting and conferring, drafting outlines, kind of getting the fundamental things down. I'm not just going to throw them into a deposition. Hey, sink or swim. I mean, it's kind of what happened to me, but that's not why we're here today. We're actually trying to, again, turn things on their head so that you as new attorneys can make bigger and better mistakes than we as the mentors did when we were coming up. So things like setting goals and career goals, because it's things that you're not really thinking of. You're worried about, how do I research this area of the Davis-Sterling Act, and what do HOAs have protection under the business judgment rule? I mean, you're still learning those nuts and bolts, as you should be. Your mentor, on the other hand, can offer advice as to how to navigate career transitions, negotiate raises. I do an entire class, and we'll talk about it in a little bit in our new attorney training, QR code below, on how to negotiate a raise at the end of the year, how to highlight your successes, and how to utilize things that you were still learning to show that you are worthy of a raise, of whatever you're negotiating. We talk a lot about that in the new attorney training. Mentors also can provide you with a roadmap for your own success. Having someone who believes in you and your potential can be a powerful motivator to keep you moving forward. It was invaluable to me to have other people, have mentors tell me the potential that they saw in me. I didn't see it. I'm still struggling with impostor syndrome, but they saw it, and they helped me create that roadmap for my own success. With these ideas in mind, I created the new attorney training program, and I'm so excited to announce that we are now open for pre-registration. So let me break down for you what the attorney training is. It is a live 12-week online program, and here's how it works. Every month, we'll have a 1-hour weekly class. These are usually going to be held on Mondays, usually in the lunch hour. I'm trying to be mindful of your time as a new attorney, and so I try and keep them to 1 hour on Mondays at the lunch hour. I also have open office hours. I usually do these on Thursdays and after 5 o'clock. Again, keeping in mind normal work hours. We also have monthly one-on-one mentoring sessions. So every month you will have a 1-hour one-on-one mentoring session, just me and you, talking about whatever it is that you are struggling with personally. And then, because I like to lighten things up a little bit, we also have our monthly sidebars. Sidebars are going to be a virtual happy hour. Bring whatever you want to drink. It's going to be an open forum. We'll sit down. We'll talk about all of the things you want to talk about. So that's kind of the structure for the 3-month program. That's going to happen every month. From there, I break it down into 3 monthly segments. So weeks 1 through 4, we're talking about confidence transitions. This is overcoming imposter syndrome. We tackle these common feelings about not being good enough and providing strategies to help you build your confidence. We also talk about your role as an associate. Week 2 is going to focus on understanding your position in the law firm and then how to effectively contribute to your firm, to your partner, and to your practice group. We also talk about in the first month is knowing your client and knowing your audience. We discuss about how to communicate efficiently with your client, with opposing counsel, with the court, all 3 very different voices. How I speak to my client is completely different than how I speak to a court or how I speak to opposing counsel or how I speak to my boss. So we're going to tackle that as well in that first month. And then also in the first month, we're going to talk about firm structure and professionalism. We talk about the ins and outs of what the firm structure looks like, how to maintain professionalism in the workplace. One of the things I struggled with when I first started practicing is I had a wonderful secretary. She had been a legal secretary for decades. She knew so much more than I did. And I struggled with being 27 years old, fresh out of law school, and what my role was in giving her direction on my practice, on my cases, on what I was doing, and doing it in a respectful manner, but also learning from her. She had decades of wisdom in the legal field I didn't have. And then we talk about how to utilize that and knowing that mentors can come from anywhere. They can come for a season. They can come for a lifetime. You can find them anywhere. You just need to know where to look and how to work with them. The second month is weeks 5 through 8, and we're talking about how to create more ease in the legal profession. It can be overwhelming. I remember one of my mentors telling him, I feel like I'm pushing a rock uphill. I just feel like I have no idea where the mountaintop is. I have no idea how long it's going to take me. And this rock just keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And I remember him telling me, Christine, you are closer than you think. And I really wanted to focus the second month on creating that ease and providing some tips and tools to manage your time effectively so that you're working smarter, not harder. Also, we talk about working as a team. We emphasize the importance of teamwork and collaborating within a firm. Again, mentors can come from anywhere, and you can learn a lot from your legal assistant, from a paralegal, from people who've been not only in the legal profession, but in your firm. They know the ins and outs, the personality quirks. They can be an invaluable tool for you. So we talk about how to work with a team and how to garner those tools for yourself. We also talk a lot in the second section is writing and speaking like a lawyer. Like I said before, communication between your client, opposing counsel, and the court is going to be completely different. Also, the way you speak and the way you write is going to be completely different. I know that law school tries to do this with their legal research and writing courses, and they do a really good job. But unless you have paired that with some on your feet work, like in a courtroom, mock trial, or moot court, sometimes it's hard to bridge the gap between the two. So we focus on that as well. And then obviously, I think the most important thing that our takeaway in that second month is a work-life balance. This is your career. This is going to be the career, hopefully, until you retire. You don't want to burn out. But you also want to make sure that you're hustling and that you're getting the work done and meeting expectations. So we talk a lot about the critical balance between your professional and your personal life. Finally, the third month of the new attorney training programs, weeks 9 through 12, is all about advancement and career development. During this segment, we talk about feedback and making mistakes and how to receive feedback constructively and then learn from your mistakes. Not all feedback is constructive, but you as the receiver of the feedback can make it constructive. And we talk about how to do that and how to get the most out of the feedback, and then what to do when you make mistakes. It's gonna happen. We all make mistakes. They don't call it the practice of law for nothing. But again, I remember a mentor telling me one time, Christine, there's nothing you can screw up so badly that I cannot fix, but I gotta know what the mistake is. And so we talk about how to communicate mistakes to your boss, to your partner, to your supervisor, so that collaboratively you can come back with solutions. We also talk about performance reviews. We prepare you for your performance reviews, how to use them for your advancement, and how to ask for a raise. I give you some tips and some tricks on things that will make that end of the year review more palatable. They're not always enjoyable, but they're not meant to be. It's hard sometimes to look in the mirror and have your mistakes or have your that kind of feedback coming back to you. But we talk about how to do that constructively. We also talk in the last month about connections and marketing, tools to help build your professional networking and market yourself efficiently. And then finally, we also talk about interviews and resumes. We'll have a course dedicated to beefing up your resume, making sure that it's advancing you and it is being received. Like I said before, as a managing partner of my office, I go through a lot of resumes, and I can tell you the ones that hit a home run and the ones that do not. So we'll help you polish your resume and prepare for those interviews. Now, if you are taking the new attorney training program while you are waiting bar results, it's offered 2 times a year, and I did that for a reason. This next round will be offered starting in September. And the reason I did that is because California and most states offer the bar twice a year, in July and in February. So I designed the training program for you to have a little time off after the bar. Please, by all means, celebrate the fact that you've taken the bar and you're moving on with your career. But then I used those 3 months, September, October, and November, to provide this for you, to give you this kind of training program to jumpstart your career. However, I do know that there will be some that, they're not going to be first time, bar passers, and that's totally fine. There is nothing wrong with you. But we designed a portion of our last month together for retakers. So if you are going to be a retaker and the program does not end until you have your bar results, so you will have a full week with me to reassess, to recalibrate, and to decide what your next path is going to be. Are you going to retake? I go through some tips and give you some information on retest taking. And if you are fortunate that you did pass on the first time around, good for you. And we also have a track for you, and that's going to be the resumes and the interviewing and the job posting. So whether it is through our new attorney training program or finding a dedicated mentor especially for you, investing in your professional development is key to successfully and fulfilling your legal career. Remember, the journey might be challenging, but you don't have to do it alone. All Rise Mentors, we are here to support you every step of the way. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the All Rise podcast, Sunday Scaries. If you're interested in learning more about the new attorney training program or you have questions, please do check out the QR code below. Don't forget to subscribe to our brand new newsletter and tune in next Sunday for more insight and tips to help you conquer the week ahead of you. Until next time, I'm Christine Barker, reminding you to rise above the scaries and embrace your potential. Have a great week.